Hello and welcome to another segment of the Fitness Whisperer. Today we're going to be talking about how often you should be working a muscle group over a period of 7 days. The reason I've decided to make this video is because I've been getting a lot of emails from individuals who are a little bit frustrated about, they're not seeing the progress that they were expecting, or they go to the gym and they work hard, and then they find themselves getting really sore to the point where they can't go to the gym for 3 or 4 days because they're just sore. They work the muscle group, for example, the arms 2 days in a row, or their legs two days in a row. So today we're going to talk about how often you should be working a particular muscle group and how long you should be resting before you work that muscle group as well. Okay? So I guess the best way for me to start this discussion is to talk about different types of muscle groups in the body. So I guess the best way for you to approach this, to avoid getting sore for an extended period of time, or getting frustrated with the fact that the muscle group that you're working, for example, is not progressing the way you expected it to, okay? Because exercising is important, but resting and knowing when to work that muscle group is just as important as well, okay? So we'll start off by talking about the backs. Now the back, I would recommend that you work your back once a week. May it be pull down lat raises, seated lat rows, overhead behind the back, lat pull downs, any of those type of exercises that you do that work the back, I will recommend that you do it once a week. And the reason I recommend that is because it is such a big muscle group, and I would assume, of course, that you are working your back muscles to the point where you want to get a full pump. You want to get it. You want to make sure that you work out with the back, or if you want to lean out the back, get a nice lean V-shaped back. I would assume that you've done your 10 or 15 or 18 reps, and you feel it, your back's tired, and you're good and you're done for the day. So work your back once a week. It's such a big muscle group, it needs a full week for it to recover. So I would recommend that you do that once a week, okay? Moving on now to the legs. Now your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes, your legs as a whole, it is a fairly big muscle group as well. And same thing, I would recommend that you work your legs once a week also, okay? Big muscle, you want to work it to the point, where you've pre-exhausted it. You need to give it a good week for it to recover, okay? Your calves, seeing that it's the lower part of your legs. Now your calf muscles, well, you can work that once, maybe twice a week, but I would not go any more than twice a week. It's a little bit of a smaller muscle group. It doesn't take that long for it to recover, 48 hours to 72 hours, and the muscle's recovered. So if you want to work your calf muscles, you can work them twice a week, maximum. Okay? So as I'm talking here, I hope that you guys are kind of getting the theme here. Larger muscle groups, you want to rest for a week. The smaller muscle groups, you want to rest for 2 to 3 days, okay? And just apply that formula to everything that you do. Your abdominal muscles, your arms, your triceps, your smaller muscle groups. Granted, you do need to make sure that they rest, but at the same time, if you want to go, for example, and work your biceps and your tricep twice a week, you can do that. You just want to make sure that you have 2 or 3 days rest in between, okay? Personally, with myself, especially when it comes to my arms, my biceps, and my triceps, I only work them once a week. I think once a week is good enough. But if you do decide to work them twice a week, what I do would recommend, and I'm talking about the arms here. So if you do decide to work them twice a week, what I would recommend you do is your first workout, you have your regular, if you want to go heavy, you want to build mass, have your regular heavy arm workout. And then the next time you do arms that week, just go light, okay? You don't want to, you got to remember, when you work out heavy, you're actually tearing the muscle fibers, right? And you want to give them some time to repair themselves. So if you're working out your arms, for example, twice a week, and twice a week you're tearing them, you're not giving them enough time to recover. So have one heavy arm workout, maybe on the Monday, And then the Friday or the Saturday, if you want to do arms again, just go light, cut the weight by maybe 10 to 15 pounds and just go light, stretch it out. Make sure you stretch before you go again, before you work your arms again. And doing it that way, you should be fine. Another muscle group that you can actually work twice a week also, even 3 times a week, is your abdominal muscle. We're consistently using our ab muscles. When you're sitting, when you're standing, when you're walking, when you're out and about in your everyday activities, you're constantly working your abdominal muscles. So if you want to work your abs twice a week, I don't see any real harm in that. I mean, if you want to give them 2 intense workouts twice a week, your abdominal muscles, they can handle that. They're working 24/7 anyways when you come and go, like I just mentioned. So if you want to do that twice a week, by all means, I'm sure you can work your abdominal muscles as well. Delayed onset muscle soreness, DOS for short. Now what that is, a day or 2 after you've worked out, you're sore, you're really feeling it, all that lactic acid is built up. It's called delayed onset muscle soreness, right? So you want to make sure that you're stretching. And if any of you guys have watched my previous video, specifically the one about stretching, whatever muscle group that you guys are stretching, make sure and be patient, okay? You want to do it right. Make sure that you're holding that stretch for at least 30 seconds. Now, mind you, let's talk about your tricep, for example. You don't want to pull your triceps all the way in until you feel a complete 100% full stretch. I would recommend against that. Pull the tricep in. Now you want to gauge it. You don't want to make it too light of a stretch, like a 5. 5 is fairly light. You want to pull it in close to a full maximum stretch and hold that for at least 30 seconds, okay? So apply that to any and every muscle that you're stretching. Hold it for at least 30 seconds to allow those flex receptors, those sensors within the muscles to just relax. And it takes 30 seconds for that to happen. So make sure you stretch. Another important thing, apply to your workout, and I mentioned that this also in my previous video, but I'm going to continue to remind everybody, make sure that you're drinking enough water, okay? 8 glasses a day, 2 liters of water a day, okay? 8 glasses or 2 liters, either or. Just make sure that you're taking in enough water, because if you're not taking in enough water, that delayed onset muscle soreness, if it's going on for more than 3 or 4 days, it's no longer a delayed onset muscle soreness. You're sore because your muscle's dehydrated, okay? So you want to make sure that you have enough water in your system, so that way your muscle would be able to recover a little bit more efficiently, okay? So stay hydrated. You do not want to overwork the muscle, right? Because then you're going to actually end up tearing it, okay? So use your discretion. Go heavy for those of you who like to go heavy to build muscle, like I said, and then have a light workout. For those of you who want to just get lean muscle mass, so we'll talk about arms. Those of you who are doing the 12 to 15 repetitions when you're working your arms, okay? Now, if that's your discipline, what I would recommend that you do then is work your arms once a week, okay? I would not go heavy. I would not go 10 to 15 repetitions, 3 sets on the Monday, and then do the same thing again on the Friday or Saturday. I will give that particular muscle group a full week to recover. Now, the reason I say that, and the reason I'm recommending people who go heavy that they can work it out twice a week, is because when you're breaking down the muscle and you're building lean muscle mass, the idea behind that is that you want the lean muscle mass to burn fat, and you want the muscle to work a lot more efficiently because you're doing that much more repetitions. If you're building muscle, you're probably doing, 5 to 8 repetitions, 3 sets, right? You're just breaking down the muscle. So doing it that way, it needs that much longer of a time to recover. And like I said, if you want to go back to it on the Thursday and Friday and go light, you can. However, if your goal is to build lean muscle mass and your workout routine consists of 12 to 15 repetitions, like I said, just go once a week, do that once a week, and allow the body to recover, okay? You'll find that when you're resting, that's when you're burning fat, and you want to make sure that you give that muscle a nice, good 5 to 7 day rest, because you're really pre-exhausting that muscle, you're really breaking it down, and it needs that much time to recover. When you're building muscle, the muscle just keeps getting thicker and thicker and thicker, right? That's how you get bigger and bigger. So it's able to withstand a little bit more stress when you're building muscle. Okay, so that now with that being said, building muscle and getting thick muscles, if you want to go a couple of days and work the same muscle and go light, the muscle fiber is thick enough to withstand that type of discipline. Okay, now if you're going light and you want to build lean muscle mass, your muscles still are getting big, but they're a lot more leaner, and you're actually conditioning those muscles to just be fat burners. They're eating up all the fat surrounding that particular muscle group. So in order to make that work a lot more efficiently, you want to make sure that you give that muscle a good 5 to 7 day rest. Okay. Now I just used arm for example, but that applies to every muscle group. Your back that I talked about, your legs that I talked about. If your goal is to build lean muscle and you're doing 12 to 15 repetitions, rest and work those muscles once a week. Abs are the exception. I mean, your abs are constantly working. If you want to do them twice a week, if you want to do them 3 times a week, I mean, you can work your abs that way. The only thing I would recommend is just make sure that if your goal is to go heavy and go hard and really pre-exhaust the abdominals, like you want to do 50 or 60 sit-ups, I would recommend against doing 50 or 60 sit-ups, for example, 3 days a week. Okay, have one heavy day and then have 2 a little bit lighter days. Or if one day you want to do sit-ups and the next day you want to do another type of abdominal exercise, and then the next day you want to do another abdominal exercise, then fine, you can do it that way. Just make sure that your abdominal exercises is varies in consistency, meaning, like I said, you don't want to do 50 or 60 for 3 days during the week, and it also varies in the type of exercise that you're doing. So one day you'll be doing sit-ups, the next day you'll be doing planks, for example, and then the third day you can do a variation of planks, right? So you're doing 3 separate abdominal exercises in a week, and that's fine. Okay, just make sure that you're if you want to go hard one day and you want to, like, you know, some people like to do crunches. I know some people who love to do crunches. They love it. And planks. Some people like to just sit there, do planks. They can do planks 5 days a week. If you do have a favorite abdominal exercise and that's your go-to exercise and you want to do that more than once a week, just make sure that the one day you go nice and, you know, you're intense about it, and the next 2 days or the next 2 times during that week that you're working your abdominal muscles, tone it back a bit. Okay, so you do 50 or 60 sit-ups on the Monday. You want to do abdominals again on the Wednesday. Cut it back to maybe 20 or 30, right? And then you want to do it again once more again on the Friday or Saturday. Same thing. Cut it back. You can do 20 or 30 again. Okay, because you don't want to consistently tear those muscle fibers. They're not going to get a chance to repair itself and get thick, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Today's a short video. I just want to make this quickly for those people that have been emailing me and asking me questions. Now, there's one more thing I would like to mention before I go, and that's tonic water. Now, tonic water, that bitter taste in it is excellent because what that does is that it flushes out the lactic acid that's within those muscle groups, right? So if you find that you're really sore and you want to recover a little bit quicker, drink tonic water. As a matter of fact, mix it. So half a glass of tonic water and the other half just water, and just drink that. And that will go a long way in flushing out a lot of that lactic acid, okay? So tonic water, stretch, hold it for 30 seconds. If you apply all those things, you know, during or incorporate those things during your regular exercise regimen, you find that you'll be recovering a lot quicker and you won't be staying sore as long as you usually would, okay? So that is it. So once again, I'd like to thank everybody for sending me emails. I appreciate it. Please continue to do so. Once again, my email address is thefitnesswhisperer_7@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter @thefitnesswhisperer. Okay? So that is it. Bye for now.